The EU Global Facility is an EU project dedicated to financial crime, mainly anti-money laundering and counter-financing of terrorism. Its main mission are to deliver to countries technical assistance on three pillars. The very first one is to strengthening the capacity building in terms of regulatory, legislation and so on. Second pillar is actually building AML-CFT institutional capacity by delivering technical assistance online and on-site. And finally, it's increasing regional, international cooperation for the country and the organization we are working with. The EU Global Facility is unique by its scope because we are embracing the whole penal chain, starting by intelligence, regulatory, financial intelligence unit, in financial investigation, judiciary, and finally asset recovery. Where we are very specific is also the fact that we are not only covering the public sector but also the private sector and the civil society. So we are helping also the private sector, such as the obliged entity, for instance the banks and insurance, but not only, also the NPOs and NGOs. Global Facility is going to increase its scope, not in terms of activities but in terms of geography. We are now, and we can say we are one of the few global projects working worldwide. We are covering almost all the continents, so we have Americas, we have Africa, Middle East, we're in Asia now, in Central Europe. We want to continue to expand. The idea for us is really to help all the countries that needed this help and to be there to support them and to help them, no matter if they are listed or not. We started to work with a catalog, so we've developed a catalog, online catalog that we were proposing to the countries. We started actually with 5-6 activities, and very quickly we went up to 130 activities using 60 consultants and delivering in 7 languages. Today the biggest achievement we had is the fact that we've helped countries to be removed from the list of the FATF and the EU list also. We are very proud that we've been able to help countries such as Mongolia, Botswana, and also from day one, Mauritius. Mauritius, we've been working with them since the day they were listed, and we have followed them and helped them until they get delisted this month. The key principle we are using to deliver technical assistance in the countries are the following. We are tailoring technical assistance, meaning that we discuss and we exchange a lot with the countries before delivering. There is nothing from the shelf. We are always tailoring our technical assistance. Another point is the flexibility and innovation. We are trying to find topics that are not the mainstream topic, and we try to find these topics by discussing with the country and try to also tailor the topics of research we are delivering to the country. We also have a regional integrated approach, meaning that whenever we work with a country, we try to meet and to discuss with the regional bodies that are actually working with the countries to be sure that there will be no duplication. One point that is very important for us is also the cross-fertilization that we can also understand as the sustainability principle from the EU, meaning that whenever we train someone in a country or in a region, we try to use the same person somewhere else. And we have a pretty good operational example. We've been helping since almost June 2019 Mauritius, and now we are using people from Mauritius actually to deliver technical assistance in other countries, such as, for instance, Jordan and Panama. Another thing that we try to really be good at is the respect of the principle of subsidiarity. That is very important for the European Commission, meaning the fact that whenever we try to work somewhere, we try to look before if there are other EU projects in order to be sure that there will be absolutely no overlapping, because this is something very important for us. We don't want to do again what has been done before, and if we have to do something that has been done before, we want to know why we would do such.